We're off on another adventure. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brie and this is 4 Paws in a Book. Today it is the start of week 2 of the Amazing Readathon and we are off on another adventure, literally, because we are on leg 4 and that means that we're headed to the Shire. Cozy, second breakfast, all the fun stuff. And we have to read a cozy book or a book that we think is a comfort read. So that is the plan for today. You're gonna hear planes because it's the afternoon and they're doing stuff. Now I am actually a little bit behind. We technically started this leg yesterday, but I was trying to wrap up another vlog and that means that I was behind. So we need to get back on track. So I'm hoping that we can find something short, something to get back on track. The new leg is not going to drop until probably tomorrow night is what I'm thinking. Maybe the next day. I don't really know at this point. Everything is very fluid. But anyways, we need to find a book to get us to the Shire. We need a cozy book. Now, I'm not a cozy reader. I don't read a lot of cozy books, and that's why I used the expansion of a comfort read. And so I'm thinking anything that's going to be kind of fluffy, anything that's going to be, you know, fun and goofy, that might be it. Basically, I just want to have a good time. Bonus points if it's gay. Literally bonus points. So let's figure out which team that we're going to be reading for, and then we can figure out where to go from there. Alright, so we are going to be reading for the Steel Watchers, and this kind of makes it a little bit more difficult because I feel like isolated setting, well, it's either like cozy fantasy or it's thriller horror, and obviously that's not super cozy, at least not for me. But I do have a book on my TBR. It was actually on my Kerplunk TBR, so look at me doing the thing. And that is Late Bloomer by Amazing Readathon. I had this as a NetGalley book and it came out like last year and I never read it. So oops, my bad. Alright, sorry, the dog started barking. I needed to let them back inside. We love that. So this is Late Bloomer by Amazing Readathon. It is a sapphic opposites attract romance. So again, bonus points that it's gay. It says, winning the lottery has ruined Opal Devlin's life. After quitting her dead-end job where she's earned a minimum wage and even less respect, she's bombarded by people knocking at her door for handouts the second they find out her bank account was overflowing with cash. And Opal can't seem to stop saying yes. With her tender heart thoroughly abused, Opal decides to protect herself by any means necessary, which to her translates to putting almost all her new money to buying a failing flower farm in Asheville, North Carolina. Sounds weird, but you know, you do you, Bill. To let the flowers live out their plant destiny while she uses the cabin on the property to start her painting business. But her plans for isolation and self-preservation go hopelessly awry when an angry, albeit gorgeous, Pepper Bowden is waiting for her at the new farm. Pepper states that she's the rightful owner of Thistle and Bloom Farms and isn't moving out. The unlikely pair strike up an agreement of cohabitation and butt heads at every turn. This is gonna be fun. I love this. Can these opposites both live out their dreams and plant roots, or will their combustible arguing and growing attraction burn the whole place down? It says that she was trying to go for isolation, so we are going to count it for the Steel Watchers. So that's what we're going to read. I unfortunately have a really bad headache tonight, and so I don't know how much I'm gonna get read, but I'm gonna, I have the audiobook for this. I was able to get it from Libro FM. There are no sprints, so yeah, I wouldn't be able to join them anyways, because honestly, my head is really hurting. It's kind of looks like it's gonna start raining. We might get this summer thunderstorm. But anyways, that's my update, and I'm gonna go. I lied, I'm back. And so is Doyle. Hey, Bubs. Hey, Bubs. You're drooling all over me. Doyle does not give kisses. He does not lick you. He just, sticks his nose in your face. Anyways, it's been a whole 2 minutes. But I forgot that I have packages, and I thought I would unbox them with you because I don't have anywhere else to unbox them, so why not? The first one is a new release and a book that I have been highly anticipating and might just get read at some point in this, maybe not this vlog, but sometime during this month. What, Bubs? What do you want? He's like, you were at work all day long. Oh, and now we have the little one. Now we have the little one that's also here because he's jealous. All right, can you guys go so I can finish filming? No, you're just gonna lay down on me? Okay, cool. Anyways, this is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab is one of my favorite authors. I have loved pretty much everything that she's written except for Darker Shade of Magic. That's the only series that like I really just couldn't get into. But Addie LaRue, all-time favorite of mine. Vicious, love that one. And I'm thinking that this one is going to be more similar to Addie LaRue. That's kind of what I was like, kind of what I'm getting from the synopsis. And also I know that this is a book that like she has been working on for so long, and so to see this finally come to fruition and finally be published is just kind of cool. So it is a signed edition. I didn't even know that I was getting a signed edition, but that's cool. So yeah, we got the little signature there. So this is a story about hunger. This is a story about love. This is a story about rage. It has 3 different timelines: 1532, 1827, and 2019. Interesting. I'm not going to read the whole synopsis, but I am excited. 3 young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high, one grows deep, and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. So we are going to have to find a way to fit this into June. I know that there is queer representation in here, so that's going to be great for Amazing Readathon. We're gonna have to figure it out somehow. All right, and then the other thing I got is a new planner. And I know that you're like, nah, that's boring. I think I've been using the same planner for like, I guess now a year and a half, because I had the 2024 one and the 2025 one. And I like it, but it's not exactly what I wanted. And so I actually found this one on TikTok and I really liked it. I liked the pages and I thought, well, I'm gonna try it. It's a 2025 and 2026 planner, and so I'll be able to kind of like start using it I think in July or August, and then have the, like, you know, if it doesn't work by January, then I can figure something else out. I'm very picky about planners, but I use them religiously. And I know it's like the whole stereotype of like ADHD people do not use planners very well. I have to. Everyone says, Brie, you're so organized. How do you do that? It's because I have to try so much harder to be normal amount of organized. And that's why. So anyways, this is The Daily. And it is a shop on TikTok for the plans we've scheduled and the ones we didn't ask for. There's nothing your planner and coffee can't figure out. You get little stickers that come with it. Okay, I absolutely love this size. So already great. So this is the 25-26 planner. I mean, she's chunky, she's big, but it's a good size. Like, it's not massive. The one that I was using right now for the 2025, I have one that's small and it's too small. And then I have one that's too big. Cause I pre-ordered the big one, realized it was too big. So I bought the small one in like the same planner. It's a whole thing. Okay. And that one's fine. Like the small one works for like my day job, but it doesn't exactly work for what I want for my author assistant stuff. It doesn't have enough room, it doesn't have enough space, and so I was like, I'm gonna try this. And this is like so pretty. It's so like classic. Okay, so it starts in August. I like these pages. They're like they're not white. They're like a little bit of an off-white color. Let me just do an overhead and I'm gonna just show you this like easier way. If you do not care about the planner, skip ahead to this point, and that's when we'll start talking about books again. Okay, this isn't like a perfect setup, but I didn't want to get my whole overhead system set up. But anyways, this is the planner, and like these pages aren't super thick, but they're like thick enough that it'll be good for like just a normal pen. So we have this like years at a glance, holidays, birthdays, love that. I don't necessarily use that because I mostly use that like, you know, Facebook will tell me. Yearly to-dos, like that. Usernames and passwords, I won't ever use that. That's what Google is for. And then a travel plan, that's kind of cool. So 2 different travel plans. So as we are working on, you know, our next cruise maybe, perhaps, that would be fun. Okay, we have a spring cleaning checklist. Love that. Weekly cleaning schedule. This is going to be great, especially now that I'm going to be like home a little bit more and like can actually do that. And then a gift organizer. Love that. Okay, so it starts in August. This is the monthly page, and if you can see, there's actually like lines on each day, which is great because then everything still looks clean and organized. Monthly budget. expenses. This is going to be fantastic. I have a spreadsheet that I use for like my business expenses, but sometimes I forget things. Okay, then a monthly reflection, summary, favorite memory, biggest lesson, proud of myself for, grateful for, and then this month, what do I want to happen and what do I want to avoid, like that. Ooh, a brain dump. Like, it's just like literally just a checklist of things. I love that. I could use that for like content ideas. Who knows? That's fun. And then we have a weekly overview with a grocery list, and then meal plans. Great. Then we have like our big events, big to-dos, habit tracker, and then this is why I got it. Look how wonderful this daily page is. Okay, this is like a whole day. You go from 5 a.m. to midnight as far as the time block, and then a huge long to-do list. Love this. This is fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. And then it looks like everything is pretty much the same throughout, but it's got a ton of pages. And then it goes all the way through July of 2026. So, great. All right, cool. That's a random tangent that I had. Okay, now I'm gonna go listen to Late Bloomer and chill on the couch for a little bit. Hi, we're back on the floor again. I'm just trying to do some cleaning and organizing and things like that. And yeah, we're on the floor. It's cool. I finished Late Bloomer earlier today, this morning. I think I'm gonna give it like 3.5, maybe 4 stars. I don't really know. Like, I think 3.5 stars. I do think that like it got a little bit kind of just like messy in terms of how do I want to put this? Like it just got like, we had a third act conflict for the sake of having a third act conflict, and it was like, first off, if you had ADHD, this would not have been a conversation, or it would have been a conversation. It wouldn't have been a miscommunication, because anyone who knows, if you have ADHD, you're like, no, nobody can be mad at me. Let's talk things out. It's one of the reasons why I loved Cute, because that representation was done so phenomenally. So 3.5 stars, we're gonna go with it. But the author's note at the end was so cute. She was talking about the different names that she had originally had for this book, the different titles, and the number one, like her favorite one, was she wanted it to be called Lavender Haze, but she couldn't because, you know, SEO. And if anyone ever Googled Lavender Haze, you would get the Taylor Swift song and not the book. So she's like, so we went with this one instead. But she had like a bunch of different names and they were all really cute. So anyways, I just thought that was really cute. So we've moved on to like 5, which is The Wall, Game of Thrones, Westeros, that whole thing. Anyways, the prompt is to read a book with a wintry setting or a chilling cover. It could be, you know, up to your interpretation for that. And first off, let's spin the wheel. I'll show you what we got. Alright, so we're reading for the Gale Weavers, and I decided I'm going to venture into the world of Omegaverse, which is scary. I think I've read like maybe 1 or 2 before, but I'm definitely not well versed in it. But here we are. I'm going to be reading One Pucked Up Pack by Sarah Blue. This is the Bookish Box edition of it, and it's a very wintry, you know, chilling cover as far as winter. There's a lot of different interpretations to chilling, but yeah, this is a Omegaverse hockey romance. Yeah. So she is an Omega. They are the Alphas. It's why choose. Honestly, I'm having a great time with it. It's quite fun. I'm about 30% in. I was listening to it while I was at work today, and it's a fun time, okay? The audiobook is actually like kind of long. It's like a 14-hour audiobook, which is like, it doesn't seem like it should be that, but that's where we're at. And yeah, I'm just having a good time with it. It's nothing that is, you know, it's not doing anything fantastic, but it's kind of fun. It's very smutty, very early on. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, I am going to go get a tattoo tonight. I decided last minute I'm gonna get a flash tattoo because there is an artist here in town that was doing flash tattoos for Friday the 13th, but she also was like extending it to tonight. And I was like, do you have any openings tonight? So we're gonna do that tonight. She had like specific ones, like it wasn't something that you could do custom or anything like that. Usually what flash tattoos are. But she had the Leo constellation. I'm a Leo, and so I'm gonna get it just right here. It's kind of cute, fun. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. But that's not until 6 It's 4:45 now. So I'm gonna clean the office for a little bit. I need to like organize my books. I need to put them into my spreadsheet before I can put them up on my shelf and go from there. So I'm gonna turn the audiobook on and we'll get to work. Hello, I'm back. I finished One Pucked Up Pack by Sarah Blue. I was considering DNFing this book. I was going to get to 50% of this book and be like, I don't know. Like it was fine, but there was just so much sex in it, which is like, makes sense for an Omega verse, but I just wanted like something more. I wanted more emotion than just like she's in heat and so therefore they all just want to fuck her. And that was like, that it is what it is. Like that is what Omega verse is, but I wanted a little bit more emotional connection. But right about the 50% mark, something happened and I was like, oh, okay, I can get on this. And then I wanted to see what happened and then I finished the book in one afternoon. So I don't know how I feel about this book. I think we're gonna set it like 3.5 because I think had I not been wanting to get to the 50% mark to count it, then I probably would have DNF'd this super early and then I wouldn't have, like, I don't know, I wouldn't have figured out what happened right at the halfway point. I don't know how, like, I don't know if Omega verse is the genre for me. I'm gonna continue reading and I'm gonna try some more stuff, but this one wasn't like a favorite for mine. I liked the hockey element, I liked the sports romance element of it, but I don't know, maybe I just couldn't get behind the idea of it being like a contemporary romance, but then it's Omega verse. I just need to find out more about Omega verse because it was like, I was trying to wrap my head around the idea of like this like social construct of alphas and betas and omegas, and like this is just like normal, people just understand, and like it becomes, I don't know, like I'm not really sure. I don't really know. So I think I need to read more. If you have some fantastic Omegaverse recommendations that like you scream from the rooftops about, put them down in the comments below because I need to see more, I guess. But anyways, we have moved on. We are moving on to Ketterdam. And let me tell you, when I was making the video for Ketterdam with like, you know, the tourism video and the prompt video, I wanted to reread Six of Crows so bad. So bad. I'm not going to, but I want to. And I want to rewatch the show now. It's a whole thing. But we're not going to. So let's go spin and see what we're going to be reading for. Okay, we're gonna be staying on the Gale Weavers again and reading for them. Don't worry, it's gonna be fair eventually. Like, Gale Weavers were the last team that I read for. It's a whole thing. If you watched my Face Off vlog, you know that I fell down the rabbit hole of Carla Sorensen and her football romances and Second Generation. And I really want to continue on with the Ward sisters with Faked, but it's not gonna get me a ton of points, and so I don't think I'm going to. I really want to, but it's not gonna, maybe for a sightseeing prompt, we'll see. Because there's no LGBTQ plus representation in it, it would potentially get me the competition bonus. There's a, like, it's a snowboarder romance, which is interesting, but it's not football romance, so it's not like the other ones, at least the next one is. But regardless, it wouldn't give me very many points with it only being like 250 pages and then only getting one bonus. So we're not gonna do that. So I think what I'm going to be doing is actually The Marriage Act by John Mars. I'm going to count this as a trial and competition, like more focusing on the trial aspect of it. So this has a lot of like government intervention in it, and John Mars is a queer author, so we'll get that bonus. And it takes place in, it says Britain. I think most of it is going to be taking place in London, so I'm going to count it as the city prompt. A right-wing government believes that it has the answer to society's ills, the Sanctity of Marriage Act, which actively encourages marriage as the norm, punishing those who choose to remain single. But four couples are about to discover how impossible relationships can be when the government is monitoring every aspect of our personal lives, monitoring every word and every minor disagreement, and will use every tool in its arsenal to ensure everyone will love, honor, and obey. I feel like there's probably going to be some sort of like, even like courtroom trial type thing, court of public opinion type thing, if it's anything like The Family Experiment or The Passengers. So we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna count it. I'm gonna stretch it. Listen, if you can make an argument for it, you can count it. So anyways, that is what I'm going to be reading. It is Monday. I need to go clean out my car, my old car, because I am taking it back to the office this evening, and so I need to like get all of my stuff out, and then I'm going to have it detailed this afternoon, so I need to get on that. So that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna pop the audiobook in and we're gonna go from there. Hello, I am about 200 pages into The Marriage Act right now, and I am happy to report that I'm liking this a lot more than You Killed Me First. And I do think that like I think it's just a matter of I appreciate his like sci-fi social commentary thrillers more than his like traditional thrillers, because that one was more just like rich people problems. This one is definitely kind of more along the lines of like, let's take this one thing about society, change it up, and see how the people react. And I feel like this is very, you know, kind of scary in what is actually happening. However, I do think it's hilarious every time they say FFA, which is like families for all, I think is what it is. You know what I really don't like? When I'm in the middle of a sentence and the battery dies. Anyways, I keep thinking of FFA as Future Farmers of America. Obviously not what it is, but that's just where my brain goes. It's fine. But I'm enjoying this. I don't think I like it as much as The One or The Family Experiment. I feel like they're very similar, but not the same. I don't think I'm not connecting with all of the characters the way that I did in the other one, but I'm still having a good time, and I really like just like the overall like societal conversation about it. So yeah, I think it's really interesting the conversation about influencers and how they're them speaking up about society and social issues, and how you can really be judged for that. And I think it's so interesting in light of like today. Obviously, like this book was written when? 2023. Okay, so it's not like super like old, but it's still relevant. However, like just in the past just couple of weeks even, you are really seeing this uptick in a demand for influencers to talk about political issues, talking about the ICE raids, talking about Palestine, which has like been more than a couple of weeks, but you know what I mean. Just like wanting to know where people stand. And I think that that's really interesting that like we were having these conversations in 2023. We're having them now in real life. Life imitates art, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading this. I'm having a great time with it, and I am hoping that I can finish this today. We'll see what happens. I don't have that much to do today. I do need to make some like graphics and things like that for my authors. I am on a very long flight to Vegas. No, it's not a long flight. It's a long day tomorrow. I have to go to Vegas for my day job. And so I have to fly out there early in the morning. I'll be out there in meetings and stuff all day, and then I fly back on the same day. So I don't know how much reading I will get done other than like while I'm at the airport and on the plane, but we'll see. So that's why I kind of like to finish this one today. Hi, long time no chat. It's been several days since I've talked to you. It's been a really crazy week. And I just haven't had time to vlog. I haven't filmed anything. I am so behind on videos. It's fine. So let's chat. Wednesday, I finished The Marriage Act by John Mars. I finished it on the plane, like, you know, I think technically before we even took off. But I did finish this. I'm giving it 4 stars. I don't think that it's my favorite from John Mars from this like series, but I did like it infinitely better than his like regular thrillers. I still think that it had so much to say, specifically surrounding like influencers and people in like the public space, and like what information that we are entitled to as their viewers, things like that, and their political beliefs and things like that. So I appreciated that. I think it was too long. I think we probably could have cut like 1 to 2 characters' storylines and probably had a little bit of a tighter book. And so because of that, we tended to get, I don't know, like not dragged, but it just kind of, I don't know what's the word. It just felt a little bit too spread spread too thin. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm giving it 4 stars, but I didn't like it as much as The One or The Family Experiment or really even The Passengers. Then I had a little bit of time to do some sightseeing while I was, sightseeing while I was in Las Vegas. I needed an audiobook for like the flight there and the flight home. And so I picked up The Ride of Her Life by Jennifer Dugan. I read this one for the Steel Watchers. I really wanted to like this one because like I was a horse girl when I was a kid. I had horses as a kid, a horse when I was a kid in high school. And so I really wanted to like this one. And I also really liked her other book, Love at First Set. But this one was just fine. Like, I think I'm giving it 3 stars. I didn't like our main character. She felt very entitled for like the situation she was in. So essentially her aunt, who she had never spoken to before, like, or hadn't talked to in decades, gifted her the entire, like, her entire ranch in her will. Why? Nobody really knows. And so it was just like, I don't know, it just felt like so unbelievable. And it felt very similar in concept to Late Bloomer, which I read at the beginning of this. And so like the storylines felt very similar, where the 2 girls were very opposite, very like one girl like should have had this property because she knows what is going on, she knows what's happening, and the other city girl doesn't know what's going on, doesn't doesn't know the ins and outs of the business, but somehow is in charge. And I don't know, the story just felt so similar, and I think Late Bloomer did it better. Yeah, 3 stars maybe, I don't know, it was just fine. Then we moved on to Camp Half-Blood, and the prompt was to read a book with a celestial or godly word in the title. I wasn't originally going to count this one, but then other people started to, and then I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So I read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I did not vlog for this at all. I read this for The Illusionist. It doesn't really count for a school setting. There is some training involved in it. So like, my guess, you could probably count it. But it is a sapphic relationship, and I don't know, I think it was done so well. Space has always fascinated me. Astronauts have always fascinated me. It's just like one of those like fields that like would have been really cool to get into, even though science, math, not really like my area of expertise. Sally Ride was a woman in science that really stood out and was an inspiration to me as a kid. And so like she is mentioned in this book. It kind of takes place at the same time. But at the same time that this book feels so close and so small, and it's like very much a personal story, and Taylor Jenkins Reid can write a book and make it feel like a memoir, make it feel like this actually happened, this story happened, and I love her for it. The ending of this book, okay, here's the thing. Throughout the whole book, I was like, this is good. It's a strong book. It's, you know, it's not normally it's not my genre that I go to anymore because I don't read a lot of historical fiction. But I was, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have to read this. And here's the thing. Taylor Jenkins Reid will always get you with the ending. And I almost started crying last night. I'm like sitting on the couch listening to this book, and I was it was so good. So I think overall I'm giving this book a 4.5 stars. And I have now read everything that she has written, like from Seven Husbands on. I haven't read some of her women's fiction, like romance-y type stuff. Not all that intrigues me, but as far as like her current like list of books, here's my ranking. So obviously Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, nothing's gonna top that. Then I think it's Daisy Jones and the Six. I think that's my second favorite one. Then I think this one. Then Carrie Soto's Back, and then my least favorite one is actually Malibu Rising. Still, like, absolutely love them. I've given every single one of her books at least 4 stars. But yeah, I think this one's gonna sit solidly in 3rd place, and really happy that I read it. So we're going to end the vlog here. We're gonna start a new one. For the last 3 legs, we dropped the new leg. I did it late last night, and so we're gonna start off the new vlog with that new leg. So let me tell you some points. Let me tell you some rankings. So in previous vlogs, I have given you the ranking for 4th place and 3rd place. Now these are all cumulative scores. This is the scores like across all of the legs so far. And so currently, as of filming this, the team in 2nd place are the Steel Watchers. So do with that information as you will. But that's all I have. If you want to check out my previous vlogs, I'm going to put week ones right here and then face-off weekends right here for you. You can catch up if you missed it. And it's not too late to join Amazing Readathon. We still have a week left. We still have 3 legs left. And so you can definitely do that. You can join wherever we are in the race, or you can backlog your books. You can do whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's all I have for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, my Threads, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!